All right, let's jump right in. We're about to explore one of the most powerful, one of the most personal, and truly world-changing encounters in all of Scripture, the moment the risen Jesus Christ reveals himself to Mary Magdalene.
This isn't just a story we're telling. It's more like a sacred space, a moment so filled with love and grief and just this breathtaking revelation that it has echoed through the centuries. So let's try to step into that garden, right there, alongside Mary.
So, our story picks up right at the empty tomb, but it's really who stays behind that sets the entire scene.
Can you just feel the weight of this verse from John chapter 20? The disciples, they've come, they've seen, and they've gone. But Mary remains. Her grief is so profound, so all-consuming, that she just can't bring herself to leave the last place she saw her Lord. This isn't just sadness, you see. It's a love that lingers.
And this is where things get really telling. John the Apostle draws this sharp contrast for us. The disciples, they see the evidence, the empty tomb, the folded grave clothes, and they head home, maybe to process, maybe to hide, who knows. But Mary, she stays. Her persistence is fueled by a love that just has to be close, even when faced with an impossible loss.
And because she stays, she sees something the others completely missed: two angels. Now, in Scripture, angels don't just show up for no reason. They appear at these huge, pivotal moments in God's plan. Their presence here is like a divine announcement, signaling that history itself is turning a corner. Mary's love-driven waiting is rewarded with the very first glimpse of this brand new reality.
So her waiting pays off, but her journey from this overwhelming grief to a world-changing truth, well, it doesn't happen all at once. It actually unfolds through a really simple but incredibly profound physical act.
You have to pay close attention to this next detail in the text, because it is the key that unlocks the entire encounter. The Gospel of John tells us twice that she turned. Now, this isn't just a stage direction. It's basically a map of her spiritual journey from despair to hope.
So you have the first turn. That's physical. It's instinctive. She's just seeing with her eyes, which are clouded by grief. She sees a figure, but she has no idea who it is. But then there's the second turn, and this one happens after she hears her name. This is a spiritual turning. It's a turn of the heart, a recognition that comes not from sight, but from a relationship.
And that brings us right to the climax of the story, the single moment when the veil is lifted and absolutely everything becomes clear.
I mean, think about it. Her own eyes are failing her. She is looking directly at the resurrected Son of God, and she's seeing a stranger, maybe the gardener. Her grief, her human perception, it's all in the way. So what on earth could possibly break through that wall of confusion?
The answer isn't something she sees. It's something she hears. It's a sound she knows better than any other. A sound that cuts right through all the noise of her sorrow. Just one word. Her name, spoken by the voice she thought she would never, ever hear again. And in that one word, the gardener becomes the Lord, the stranger becomes her teacher, the tomb becomes the door to a new creation. Everything changes when he speaks her name.
In this personal call, it echoes a promise that God made centuries before through the prophet Isaiah. God's relationship with his people has always been this personal. He knows us. He calls us by name. This intimate moment in the garden is the ultimate fulfillment of that ancient, loving promise.
But recognizing Jesus isn't the end of the story. Not at all. The very moment Mary knows it's him, he immediately gives her a mission, a world-changing commission.
This is it. This is the very first commission of the resurrected Christ. Before he appears to anyone else, before any of the big pronouncements, he entrusts the most important news in human history to this one faithful woman.
And notice that crucial word Jesus chooses, brothers. He doesn't say, go tell my disciples or my followers. He says, brothers. With that single word, Jesus is announcing that the resurrection has changed everything. It has created a new family, where we are adopted as sons and daughters through his sacrifice. It's the language of radical restoration. And in this act, Mary Magdalene becomes the apostle to the apostles. In a culture where a woman's testimony was often just dismissed, God chooses a woman to be the first person to share the news of the resurrection. It's a stunning divine reversal, and it shows God's heart for elevating the humble and using the overlooked to declare his glory. Okay, now let's zoom out for a second.
Because Mary mistaking Jesus for the gardener? Well, it turns out to be more profound than we can possibly imagine. It's a hint that we're seeing the dawn of an entirely new world.
The Bible begins with a man and a woman in a garden, right? Where a deceiving voice led to the fall of humanity. Now John's gospel brings us to another garden. Here, a woman, Mary, meets not a deceiver, but the truth himself, the author of life, the true gardener, and she becomes the one who announces a new beginning for all of creation.
So when you put it all together, what does this beautiful encounter teach us? It teaches us that the resurrection is the start of a new creation, Creation 2.0. It shows that true faith ignites when God personally calls our name. It reveals Christ's deep compassion, appearing first not to the powerful but to the broken-hearted one who waited. And it proves that the resurrected Jesus is the same tender, personal, pursuing Lord he always was.
Ultimately, Mary's story is our story. It's the story of a God who doesn't just know us as a crowd, but who knows us individually. He knows our sorrow, he sees our devotion, and right in the middle of our confusion, he speaks our name. The beautiful, timeless truth revealed in that garden is that the Good Shepherd calls his own sheep by name.